Welcome back to another episode of The Common Thread with one of your hosts, Luis Dorta. Today, we have Yuval Ranon, one of Soccer Genome's alumni, currently overseas in Germany, playing for the U19 Werder Bremens. How you doing, Yuval?
Doing good. I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Happy that you guys asked me to come on this. And Evan was telling me, and you were telling me about what you guys are trying to do here with the Common Thread, and I really enjoyed it.
That's
and
great.
I thought it was a good idea. So
Great. How was spending time with the family?
awesome. I mean, every time I come, I only get 2 breaks. So I get one in the winter and one in the summer. And usually it's about 3 weeks to 2.5 weeks. So it's not a lot of time. But it's always nice to have, family, mom's food, and, friends, and, everything. Old coaches like Taylor coming to train me again, and it's just awesome to be home.
So mom's cooking. What's your favorite dish she made?
So she's actually Moroccan, so she makes a ton of Moroccan dishes. So she makes something called couscous, if you know about it. But it's very good. Very good.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, Germany. Do you speak any German? How's the German going?
Yeah. So I would say I'm fluent in German now. Not completely fluent, but I talk in the locker room with the boys German there, and it's just I barely speak English now there, so it's good. Yeah.
So how many languages do you speak?
I speak 3. I speak German, Hebrew, and English.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Now, when did you start playing football?
I started at age 6. 6. My family moved to Pennsylvania, and then, as you're a little kid, you're trying to find the sports that you want to play. So I played basketball, I did karate, and then I played soccer as well. So I was doing all those 3 sports just for fun. And then around when I was 10, I was just much better at soccer, we saw. And then my parents said, all right, 3 sports at 10 is too much, so you got to pick 2. So I picked basketball and soccer. And then age 11, 12, basketball was too short.
Right.
I was the shortest one there, so we cut basketball, and then I was also just extremely good at soccer. I was on the top team when we moved here directly, and from there, 12 till 16 until the time I moved, I was just progressing very fastly. So
that's good. I guess you made the right decision cutting out the other.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So you kind of started diving a little bit. Just kind of talk about how does all this happen? Going to Werder Bremen. I mean, just talk about obviously going to club.
Mm-hmm.
How did you end up kind of dealing with that agency scouting, going to Germany and actually getting the opportunity to travel with them?
I mean, so my dad has kind of took control of all that because at the age of 14 or 15, there was a ICC tournament in Florida, IMG Academy, and that was the first real big tournament that even NCFC got invited to, where it was European scouts there. And when he heard that I was going there, he started reaching out to agencies or representatives that can help us, and that's when really he got 2 agents to come watch me there. And, they were impressed, and the teams that were there were impressed with me. But it was still an early age. I'm still 14. So
14.
Moving there alone, 14, and my parents aren't going to move to another country because I have 2 little sisters. So it was kind of too early. So they said, we'll keep an eye on him, keep performing where you're at right now, and we'll talk again when you're 15, 16, or when the time is right. Yeah. And so then my only focus was just stay at NCFC to, score a lot of goals, do my thing, and provide them material so they can go to clubs and give me trials. And then 15, I got moved up to the U17s, so I was playing a year up with some other guys and at NCFC, and I was starting. I was the top goal scorer that year in the league, and I mean, from the age 14, 15, 16, I had, I think, 40-plus goals a year. At ECNL, high level, and I was even playing in the USL Academy with some of the college guys that were coming back and everything.
So you always played up?
Yeah, was always playing up. And then when I hit the age of 16, we finally got news that it could be a possibility to go on trials.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
And I told my dad, I'm ready for this. It's what I want. And then my dad, he dropped everything, and he really wanted to make it happen. So he also took a break off of work. He went with me on a 2-month period of trials, and we went to a lot of different clubs in Belgium, Spain, France, and Germany. A ton of clubs. Obviously, some were better than others, but ended up Bremen being our last trial, and it was just I did amazing there, and the facilities were amazing. It just won our hearts over, really. The people were great, and the youth Bundesliga, you can't say no to that. They're known for creating the best talents around the world today. So that was kind of my story. And then that's how I really got there. It was crazy. It was crazy. Really crazy.
That's such a great story.
Yeah.
So from playing club soccer like in
Mm-hmm.
the U.S., how would you kind of compare like the difference from like European soccer
Mm-hmm.
and like the American style of play? Have you
So
noticed?
I would say coming back now and seeing a few games and stuff, and over the last 3 years of my friends still playing and stuff, I would say even like watching the NCAA finals, it's the intensity at which everything is played at is so much quicker there. So like the transitions are very quick. The small details are completely different there.
Simple.
It's the small details will make the biggest difference there. So we'll do passing drills. You have to be precise. You can't play his left foot. You can't. Everything has to be precise.
Right.
And those are the small details that make the difference. You know, you have the biggest coaches that say at the top level, it's not really it's the small things that separate you from everyone else when you get to a high level.
Yeah, the small details.
The small details.
Pep said it too.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking of. Because you get to those high levels, there's so many talented people. Everyone has their own thing that they're good at. What's going to separate you is what you eat when you go to bed. How you recover. Those are all 1% that make you better.
It all adds up.
It all adds up, and that's what I think. I think it's big. I think it's big.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, your debut, you went to Werder Bremen in 2022, right?
Yes, correct.
Do you remember your first game?
Yes, I do. It was.
Walk us through it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to count the friendly game. I'm going to count the first league game. It was a league game. I was working hard in the preseason, actually, and I earned a starting spot in the first opening game. So that was good. And, we were in the locker room. We went out to warm up, and then we came back. All our jerseys were set up.
Oh,
it was
God.
just felt professional from the second we got there.
What number?
I was 16. 16.
Still baller.
Yeah, still ball. So that 16's in my heart. I even have a chain on at 16 now. So it was my first number for a European club. But it was awesome. It was awesome seeing my shirt there, seeing the Bundesliga patch on the side of the shirt. It was just, you look back, and I used to have an ECNL badge. Now I have a Bundesliga patch,
Yeah.
So it's just, I got shivers, and, it was awesome. Awesome game.
Well, before we continue, we didn't mention, but what position do you play?
So earlier in my career, so like when I was younger, I played the 10 midfield, and then technically the last 4 years, I was playing striker, and that's where I was scoring all the goals and everything. So I was really good at that as well. And now I'm so strong at both that I'm moving from both positions.
Sick.
So I'm very good at both. Yeah, like Bremen recruited me as a striker, and then the first year there, I was top goal scorer on their team at U17 and top 10 in Germany. And then this year I'm playing more a bit of a 10 just because of our new formation, but it's good. I can play both.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Now, with just not only Werder Bremen, you've made international caps.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
You talk about it for me.
So yeah, the national team also started when the whole trial process started. It actually helped us get into the European clubs. And yeah, it's insane. I've had, I think, 10 appearances, national team appearances so far on the biggest stage for youth football, so the Euros. And it's awesome. I'll go from, I'll take the last 3 months. I had 6 months. I had a DFB Pokal game, which is like the domestic trophy in Germany. We won. I scored. I won us the game on penalties. And then 5 hours later, I'm on a flight to Albania to play against Ireland, Denmark, and Albania.
Sick.
And it's just things like that are just, it's things I wouldn't trade for anything, Like at this age, being able to do that, flights paid for, everything's just taken care of, It's just awesome. And now we have, coming up now, we have the elite rounds for the Euros. So it's the next stage for it because we qualified in Albania.
Oh, congrats.
And now it's Belgium, Norway, and Serbia. So it's even a harder group.
Wow.
But
How do you describe their style of play? Do you see every country's different, has their own kind of flair?
Yeah, the Balkans, so Serbia, Bulgaria, all those, they just fight. They'll foul you. Refs looking away, they'll step on you. It's just
gladiators.
They just fight.
What about the other ones like Germany?
And then you have Norway, Denmark, Germany. They're just top. They just play football. It's good to watch. It's hard.
That's good. Which one's been the hardest, the most impressed nation you played against?
We just played Denmark. They were very good, very technical, but I have to say Germany because we played Germany. They were very good, and it was cool. I knew some of the players are from the league already, so I said hi to a few of them. So it was cool. Yeah,
Pretty cool. Now, during your time there, did you do a little bit of school, or do you have to finish up school up in Germany?
Yeah. So I had my last 2 years. I had to do online school, so through a program, and it was easy. I just had to take time out of my day. I had to have discipline too, because I'm in
Yeah.
my room. I don't want to do school.
Yeah, of course not. You want to be a footballer.
Exactly,
But how do
exactly.
you balance it?
I mean, I think what helped was I sat with my mom and dad. We just made a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with a plan that just I had to stick to,
Yeah.
and I couldn't divert from the plan. And then it worked out. It ended up working out. So I would have training in the morning, then I would have school, then training in the evening. So
Cool.
it was good.
Now, how is it like a week? Can you give me like a rundown of like a regular week?
Yeah.
For you, like training like Monday to
Yeah.
Friday, and like obviously you get your footy on the weekend. Like how's
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, so games always Saturday or Sunday, right? So then let's go Monday. We have 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. It's an option. You have gym in the morning. And then you have so school, and then during the day school. And then you have at night team training. And then Tuesday we'll have training on the field in the morning, not gym. And then we'll have school and then team training at night. And then we'll have on Wednesday, again, gym in the morning, school, and then team training in the evening. And then Thursday is usually our day off during the week. And then we'll have Friday, we'll have a day before a game usually, so that's more easy. So we won't have a morning training. We'll have more like stretching and stuff and recovery or like preparation. And then we'll have a team training in the evening. And then, yeah, game is just everyone has their own routines,
Right.
So.
And do they create like a nutrition like plan for you? Like, do they make your food, or like do you have to take care of that for yourself? Like,
Yeah, so we have chefs. So the players that live in the stadium, which I'm one of them, there's only 16 spots
Sick.
for players in the stadium to live in. That means that the team provides you housing, food, cleaning, rooms, laundry, everything. You don't have to pay for anything.
wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And that's for 16 kids out of the whole academy, not just my team. And so with that, we get chefs actually that cook lunch, dinner, and breakfast for us. So they provide us with obviously nutritional food. They don't just feed us, garbage. And yeah, for example, we'll have like every player will have different things they need to. If one needs to get leaner, one needs to build muscle. It's a diverse. So
That's
yeah.
good. Now, 2024 quarterfinals German Cup.
Yeah.
You played against Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
You guys were down, and you scored in the 90th minute to equalize, to push the game to overtime, leading it to the penalty shootout, and you took the deciding PK to write yourself as well as Werder Bremen in the history books. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, my dad's very, very involved, and he's done almost everything I couldn't have done without him. So he heard about this game, and I mean, to be honest, we didn't really know the importance of it, because we say quarterfinals are still a long way to go, right? And it's the DFB Pokal, so we didn't really know about it. But then I told him, you got to come, right? And so he drops everything. He makes his way over to Germany, and I find myself in this game. Amazing view, amazing facility. It was an away game at their field.
Wow.
And I see him in the crowd, and it was warming,
It's like the best feeling when like your
feeling.
parents are there and like you think of everything like you've been through and you're like,
Exactly.
and
We're
then you
here.
score. Yeah, and like,
We're here.
You're here.
Exactly. And then 90th minute hits, like you said, ball comes over the top, goalkeeper long ball. I read the play, I bring it down, score with my left foot, and then I just sprint over to him. Tap my chest, and like I'm talking to him and stuff. And then the game goes into extra time, and then the penalties come. No one wants to take the fifth penalty.
Of course.
And then I tell my guys, tell me whatever penalty you take, I'll take it. And then they go, all right, you're fifth. So then I'm just locked in with myself. I'm waiting for my moment. I knew it was going to come. And then the guy before me, their fifth penalty taker misses. I'm up, and then I go, I score. Whole team's running over to my dad. Everyone's hugging him. He's in the circle with us, and it was awesome. I'll never trade that moment for anything.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, talking about that PK, I mean, like, kind of, you go through like kind of the emotions. How do you stay calm? Is it like that self-belief that you have that helps you, or like what goes through your head?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing my dad talks with me all the time about. We have endless hourly conversations about, the mental game, because as you know, we were talking about Pep Guardiola. There's a video of him saying 90% of football is here, 10% is on the field.
Right.
And you hear LeBron James, Tom Brady, everyone saying it. So, I mean, I've also had a history with my penalties. Actually, here at NCFC, I missed one of the penalties in the Nationals. And, it's just like, it's a thing where if you practice it, if you stay committed, and ever since then, I kind of changed my thought process around penalties. It's like, at first I used to think he was in control, right? And it's just chance. But I started changing my mindset and thinking I'm the one in control of the penalty. I decide if it goes in or not, you know? And, you know, you can even see in the video, I walk up to the penalty, set the ball down, don't look at the goal, take a deep breath, and just, I have my corner.
You already knew where you were going.
Already knew where I was going.
Execution.
Already knew where I was going. I said, because also it was funny, everyone on our team went in that corner.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone on our team went in that corner. So I was thinking, maybe I changed the corner. But then I go, no, I'm sticking to my corner. I go there, and then it just went in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, for when you went to Germany, think about, you know, you signed for Werder Bremen. You're in your apartment. You felt like you were out of your comfort zone. You're officially, like, away from your family.
Mm-hmm.
How were you dealing with those emotions? Like, what was going through your mind during that time?
I mean, yeah, it was crazy. I remember still to this day when I was 15 and a half, my parents dropped me off at the airport, and I hugged my sisters, I hugged my mom, I hugged my dad, and then I find myself sitting at the gate just crying. You know, it's like, this is my new chapter now. I'm alone, you know? And so my dad obviously came to visit, my mom came to visit in the first couple months, but then there was big chunks where they weren't there, you know, and it's, you know, you got to wake up for training all alone, no more mom waking you up, no more her making you breakfast. You got to walk down, you got to go find the training field, you got to talk to people that you can't talk to because you don't know the language, right? You can't understand what they're saying, so a lot of times I would walk in the kitchen, they're laughing, I don't know what they're saying about me. Yeah. It's just a very hard period, but, you know, and 9 out of 10 kids would break, but I think that's what makes me special, and that's why I am where I am today.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I know, like, a lot of people go overseas. I have friends that have gone overseas and met kids that it just wasn't cut out for them. They get homesick, and like the pressure's too much that they just want to like just give up on the dream. Like, what kept you grounded during these moments? Like, what made you like strive to keep going? Like, what is your why?
My family. I mean, the amount of times my dad, my mom would call me and be so supportive and just, you know, tell me like, you got this, you know. So many times I would be like, Dad, I can't, because I'll be honest, I had the first 2 months I had a scoring drought for Bremen. I couldn't score. You know, I was still starting. I was playing very good, but I just couldn't score, you know? And that's like, what's going on? You know, I scored 40 goals. I'm scared. I'm scared that I can't do it here, you know? And I remember endless phone calls of them on the phone with me in my room. All of us, you know, either crying or, you know, talking, screaming at each other, everything. And those moments are what builds you, and they didn't let me give up. They never let me give up, you know, because they know that that's my dream. They've seen me work endless hours in the cold, rain, snow, Christmas Day, you know, New Year's Day, everything. So all of that combined, they're my why. They're my why, 100%.
That's great. So would you say like that was kind of like a make and break moment for you before you kind of like got to the next level? Because obviously you say you started with like going, you weren't scoring goals, you were starting, but you weren't getting the results you wanted.
Right.
But now you're scoring the biggest games
Yeah.
for the club. You're scoring against like Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
St. Paul will be one of them.
Yeah.
Like, what was that switch? Where did that switch come about?
I mean, we see it in the biggest teams too, you know, the players, Nicholas Jackson, you have scoring droughts, you know, even with Mbappe now. So I think everything we talked about, new team, new country, all of those things just came into play, you know. So I was still starting, I was getting my starting spot. It's just, it's a new league. It's a new league, new system, you know, goalkeepers way better, goalkeepers way better. So I think it just, after the first, I think it was on my 4th game. So after a month and a half, on my 4th game week there, I scored my first goal. And then from there, it was just, I finished with 15 goals in 16 games. So, yeah, it was very, very good.
How do you, like, deal with doubt? I mean, because I feel like you probably have had those feelings, like, you doubted yourself, like, I'm not cut out for this, or, like, it's like, is this really for me? Like, how do you deal with those emotions?
Right. So the first year I was in Bremen, I would definitely say there was a ton of doubt, because I find myself on a field with Leipzig, which players I've already been with the first team of Leipzig, so training with Champions League players. And, you know, I doubt myself. You know, I say, who am I to come from a small club in America, North Carolina, to train with these guys that have been in the system for their whole life? But then, you know, you get these reassurances, and, you know, I finished my U17 year as top 10 goal scorer in Germany. You know, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
So I do that, and then I finished my U19 year as a younger player on the team, top goal scorer and top assister, so both. And I'm scoring goals, like you said, against Gladbach, Dortmund, St. Pauli, Leipzig, Wolfsburg, and all these little things give you reassurances. So then when you find yourself in a moment of I'm nervous or I can't do this or something, I always just go back and I think, listen, you've done this against Germany, you've done this against Norway, you've done this against Dortmund, you've done this against St. Pauli, you've done this against the biggest players at your age. So what's stopping you from doing it today? You know? So, for example, when I was coming in to play against Denmark recently, you know, everyone was saying they're very, very good, was a bit nervous, but then I said, you played Germany last year and, you know, you scored. So why not do it again now? So
That's great.
yeah.
That's a great story to hear. Now,
Yeah.
we talked about who you're scoring a lot of goals.
Mhm.
You were the top goal scorer and assists in the SVWB league. Do you know how many goals you ended up with right now? Or?
Yeah, so my last year, so my most recent year, I had 10 goals and 7 assists in 22 games. So, and that's also taking into consideration that during the beginning of that year, I wasn't starting as much. So my goal per minute ratio was the best on the team by far.
Good.
So,
If you could pick one, like, you know, any goal, if you're going to score the next goal, what's like your favorite one? Like a volley, a tap in, outside the box, back post, a ripper? Like, what's like 9 out of 10, you're going to score that? Like,
Yeah.
that's all day.
so my strength, you mean?
Yeah.
I would say just first time finishes in the box. I just read the play, get in front of the defender, boom, first time finish. That's my, like, anything inside the box, I'm very precise, very precise.
How do you become very precise? Like, how are you like a clinical finisher? Like,
Yeah.
some people struggle with that. Like,
Yeah.
kind of walk them through, give them some tips, or like, what goes
I
through your
mean,
mind?
you can't cheat anything. So training, you got to train it. You know, you got to train it. You got to work hard on it. You can't cheat something that you can't expect results for something you don't work on. So that's first of all. Second of all, I would say if you're a striker or someone that's find yourself in the box a lot, you got to be calm. There's no such thing as not being calm. So you got to approach the box. You got to be calm. And then I would say just focus on the technique. You know, some people get in the box, get in those areas, and they just try to slam it, you know.
Yeah.
Focus on the technique from that distance. You don't need power for that distance.
It's class.
Yeah.
How about the assists? I mean, you're an attacking man. Like, how do you have like the IQ? Like, how do you study the game?
Yeah, yeah.
So before I go any further, like, how do you like kind of study? How do you prepare for these games? Like, how do you study?
So my dad actually, obviously we do video with the coaches there, but my dad is the one that really, I send him the video after each game and he cuts it down. He finds all my actions and then we talk about it afterwards. So we analyze my game. We look about the things I did good, the things I did wrong. And I think it really helps. You know, you got to be analyzing your game. You got to be studying what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. And so I'd say that would really help. And IQ-wise, I mean, I'd like to say it's just a gift I have. You know, it's just a gift. I didn't wake up one day. I think you can't build game IQ.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really build it. Like if nice passes and things like that. So I'd say I just something I just have. And yeah, you know, when I'm watching pro games and stuff. Not too long ago, like 4 or 5 years ago when I was younger, you know, you probably heard it too. They said, you watch the player in your position. You know, don't watch just the game. Watch the player in your position. See what he's doing.
Who did you grow up watching?
So Ronaldo's my idol. Ronaldo's my idol. Everything about his mindset, dedication, hard work. Yeah, that's my idol. So.
But at the 10, who do you describe? I mean, you are your own player,
right?
But who do you look at like playing the 10? Like, who you watch? Like,
So right. So recently it was more like that's what the coaches there compared me to, like Florian Wirtz or Martin Odegaard. They compared me to, so like that type of play style for sure.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Now, let's kind of like step back from like footy. What do you like to do? I mean, besides footy, like, do you have any hobbies? I saw like you came down here, you go to the beach with your buddies. And,
Yeah.
You spend time with them. Like, what do you like to do?
Friends and family time. I'm not really too much of a vacation guy, to be honest. I don't really like to go on vacations and stuff. My mom's always asking me, let's go on vacation, but I say I just want to go home, you know. I just want to stay at home. So I really like spending time with friends. Obviously when I'm there, I have a lot of downtime, so I play Xbox with those friends.
But you get a Foot Champs.
Foot Champs? No, I can't keep downloading FIFA. I've broken too many controllers. But yeah, I play like Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, those type of games, you know. So yeah, just family time and friends.
Is that how you balance kind of footy and your life? Because some people, like, you know, they're going all in on one thing. They'll kind of feel burnt out.
Right.
And, like, how do you deal with like burnout?
So I'd say like a lot of times I'd have a long day or something. Like, I already talked with my mom, already talked with my dad. I would say actually some of my friends have been very helpful, So like, I'll just go to bed, I'll be in my room, and I just give them a call, We just chat. We just stay on the phone for an hour and a half, even if we're not talking the whole time,
Yeah.
The phone's just staying on in the background, and idea comes up, I just share it with them,
Right.
And it just helps calm me down, helps me get my mind off football and stuff like that, because I truly believe you can't have your mind 100% on football. It won't work, You got to have some, not distractions, but you got to have some other parts of your life, because, yeah, it's just important. It's important.
When did you start coming to Soccer Genome?
Ooh, my dad probably knows better than me because he's the one that brought me here, but I think it was 9 or 10 years old, right when we moved here, because we moved here from Pennsylvania and we were looking at, soccer places I can keep playing soccer at. So obviously NCFC was the bigger one, but then we found this place. I remember me and my dad walking in through the garage here, and then Taylor just approaches us with the biggest smile, the biggest genuine, greeting. And it was just, since that day, I mean, I wouldn't trade that relationship we have with Taylor for anything,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how do you feel like we've helped you with getting to where you're at? Because these are like the extra 5-10 minutes, hours that you're putting in.
Yeah.
Compared to other people that are just training 3 to 4 times a week, you're putting in more reps. How have we helped you?
So I think the special thing with Soccer Genome is that, I come from Germany, or anywhere, you come from college, you come back. The special thing about Taylor, for example, or even the other coaches here, that you can decide what you're going to train on. And then they take their knowledge and they make drills, or they give you the knowledge to help you do that. So, for example, I come back, last vacation I came back, I said, hey, I want to work on my first touch. So he did a ton of drills, ton of reps, first touch. This time I came back, Taylor, 1v1s, 1v1s. And so I think that's just so special, because at the teams and at your clubs, you just can't get that. You can't get that because they have to worry about 30 other players on your team. So I think the fact that I can come here, bring 2 of my friends and say, listen, we're going to come train Taylor, can we do that? And he gets those times, there's the facility, everything. I mean, it's just awesome, Awesome.
That's great. Now, moving forward now, have you been training with, besides the U19s, have you been training with, the U23s, first team?
Yeah. I mean, I had time with the first team during the preseason time. I was there for a friendly against Coventry in England. I actually flew to England with them and had some time there. Got good feedback from that. And then before that, towards the end of last year, they brought up me and a few other guys to one of the friendlies they had there towards the end of the year, and actually managed to get an assist there, which was very nice. And then now I'm training more often with the second team since the beginning of the year and doing well there. But yeah, it's positive overall.
Positive. So we might see you on Ultimate Team.
Hopefully in the next couple of years, yeah.
Hopefully we'll get a Team of the Week card.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let's go back. So leaving advice for kids that are in Soccer Genome right now, or anyone that's kind of aspiring to go to Europe, what would you tell them? Deep down, what helped you? What would help them?
I think you have to find something you're special at. So I'll be honest, you have to be good. You have to have something special about you. You have to have something special about you. If that's your mentality, that counts. Any small thing that counts. And then I would also say you need support, because I'll be honest, if I didn't have my dad with the support he gave me, then I don't think this would have been as possible. Or it would have been this the way we took it. So I would say support, hard work, dedication, and just what we talked about, not giving up, what you brought up, just the fact that you can't give up, you can't be homesick, you gotta love the grind,
How about belief?
You gotta have belief too.
Belief.
It's true. You gotta have belief.
You have to be all in on yourself. You have to bet the house on yourself.
Yeah,
right?
true. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I dropped everything. I dropped my high school experience. I dropped college, everything, things that people wait their whole lives for, to leave home at 16,
Yeah. Well, Yuval, it was a pleasure having a conversation with you. On the
You
Common
too.
Thread.
Thank you for having me.
Safe travels back to Germany. Continue to make history for the club. We're excited to see what the future has in store for you, and hopefully we can do another one of these later on
For sure.
in your career.
For
Thanks
sure.
for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.